Now, the Livewire.
TV was my only escape as a kid. It's what made me laugh when I was in a bad, miserable home. And I'm going to make this thing that makes people feel better. It's like, I'm a drug dealer. Let's make these drugs,
Here's the Livewire with Branden.
Here we are back at it on the Livewire. Welcome, I'm Branden, and this week is another special one. I get to catch up with one of the funniest, most fearless comedians out there, Whitney Cummings, on the podcast today. We talk about everything from stand-up comedy, podcasting life, motherhood, relationships, and the insanity of trying to balance all of that while staying authentic in front of millions of people. Whitney will be live out at the Walton Arts Center this Saturday. Probably a sold-out show already. If you want to get those tickets, go to waltonartscenter.org to buy those. Whitney has a way of being brutally honest and absolutely hilarious at the same time. And this conversation felt like talking to someone I've known for forever. It's just the way she is. I can't wait to share this episode with you. It's Whitney Cummings, and she's on the Livewire.
I actually think we need to steal from what guys do with their nicknames, because guys build each other up with their nicknames, right? What up, champ? What up, chief? What up, boss? Guys give each other promotions in their nicknames. I make television shows. I have an intern. He's 20 years old. People walk in, they're like, what up, boss? I'm like, what? No, I'm your boss. I'm your boss. That's nobody's boss. That's my friend's nephew who was too stupid to get a job, so I had to give him an internship because he got a 2 on his SATs. So that's nobody's boss. Okay. Best case scenario, he will be a hooker. So let's just get this. I'm your boss.
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I just finished listening to an episode on the way to the grocery store. Actually, I had to get milk. So you and I have share a little bit in common. I have a new child. I'm a little older, in my 40s. I got a 2-year-old, my only child. Nice. So I had to get up and go get milk this morning and come back and do all that. And then I was thinking, man, you do the podcast, stand-up comedy. Kind of feels like me. You're probably running all over the place. How do you juggle all that?
Look, before I had a kid, people shamed me for having ADD and OCD and all the things. And now that I have a kid, it's just like, I've always been a manic crazy person, and now it's finally for a reason. So it's kind of like, yeah, see, like my personality, it was before a kid was crazy and dangerous, and now it's just like helpful. So there's something weirdly relieving to be like, okay, like all these, crazy, behaviors kind of come in handy as you're like sprinting towards a Benadryl that was left on the floor, and you get it right before the kid puts it in his mouth. Like, see, you think I'm ADD, but I'm just scanning for pills on the floor. I just saved my son's life thanks to that ADD.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Does it feel like you lose sleep? I feel, you have all these things that you do throughout the day. Does it feel like you get enough sleep, or is that just non-existent?
Comics never really get, I sleep in chunks. I'm not, this whole thing where everyone has to sleep 8 hours. What? No one has time for all this sleep. What is this? What is this, like, everyone's just Bill Cosby now, like, go to sleep. Like, what is this obsession with sleep? Like, I'll sleep when I'm tired. I'll take a nap when I can, and we'll move on. Like, all these podcasters telling me, like, you gotta sleep, everyone's gotta sleep. It's like, okay, well, you're telling me this at 2 a.m. on an Instagram. That's what's keeping me up, is all your posts telling me I gotta sleep.
You don't get too much of that. I mean, you're out there. You got the podcast. I was just watching you talk with Jordan Jensen, stand-up comedian. Hilarious.
I was like throwing a ball for Coyote, and he comes up to me and he's like, for my dog Coyote, sorry. Sorry, that is on brand though. My dog's name is Coyote. She's Native American.
You could have had a 5-hour podcast on that episode. It's just so great that your podcast is raw. It's just really, it feels like we're just kind of listening in on your real life conversations. So it's always great to listen to that. And is it good for you, like a question mark? I was wondering this. It's good for you, or is it good for you?
Dude, you're like one of the only people that ever asked that, and my big intention was that you wouldn't know. Like, it's different for it's like a Rorschach test. Like, if you're like a petty person, it's like you probably think it's like good for you, you know. But like, if you are listening to the episodes that are like helpful, you know, it's like it's good for you. This podcast is like good for you, or because I like to kind of just like support other comics with it. It's like, you know, good for you. Like, good for you. Like, celebrate. Yeah. So it's whatever you think it is. I love that you don't know.
But you get to talk to all sorts of comedians. That's so fun. I'm sure that's great that you get to bounce off of all these incredible people. Is there someone, you know, you don't know them all personally. Is there someone that was surprising that you talked to and you're like, man, this person actually is really cool?
A lot of the people I have on, I kind of know. I think it's usually the opposite. It's like someone I'm like, I think you're really cool, and you come on the podcast and you're kind of like, we're in a different place. Like Bobby Lee is one of my best friends.
I used to be on a show called Mad TV. It was kind of like SNL, but for Mexicans. 12 Mexicans watch that show. So if you're a fan, hola, ¿qué tal?
When we go on the podcast, we just fight like dogs. And I'm like, what is this thing? Why are we doing this? Why do you hate me all of a sudden now that millions of people are watching?
The number one thing every woman says about what they want in a man is sense of humor.
That's so not true. It is that you're gonna make me angry. Because
you weren't angry before.
Like, we like each other. We're friends. Oh, and you're like, okay, so we're going to air all of our resentments publicly. We could have just done this in a phone call. You know, so that's when I really, you know, Andrew Santino, same thing. I'm like, why are you yelling at me?
Why are you yelling at me about something I can't control? And they bully us about it. They took away straws in California. They made them illegal in some states to serve. It's insane. And they took them away, and we were like, all right. No one asked for proof. No one was like, why are you doing this? And they threw away. They go, turtles. Turtles are dying. And we just were like, oh, okay, seems reasonable. Does it? Where are all these turtles? I'm almost 40. I've seen 6 turtles my whole life.
So I think that it's always interesting to see how, you know, the camera affects somebody.
Especially with friends. Now they're just trying to outdo you or maybe even shock you on your own show. You know, that's probably part of it.
Totally. Does
the podcast help with your jokes? Do you kind of write those down or like, oh, to keep those kind of...
These are amazing questions, and I'm serious. I can't tell. I still can't tell because there's no audience in the podcast. Like, there's no one. I'm like my podcast producers here, but I'm sort of like, was that funny? I guess I'll find out in the comments section. You know, I fear that, you know, doing podcasting actually makes stand up, you know, feel a little too conversational. And that's not what stand-up is, certainly to me. Like, I'm on stage, it's like, laugh every 20 seconds, like, Joe, whereas the podcast is kind of like, you know, thoughts and meanderings, and it's like sort of a different style. So I kind of feel like I play defense against it and going like, yeah, that was a funny talk, but that's not stand-up. You know what I mean? Right, so I really try to differentiate the two and make sure that they don't bleed into each other too much.
I see that. And so you're always working on those jokes. I'll give you a little rundown. You've never been to Fayetteville at the Walton Arts Center, but this stage is so great. I've seen just awesome stand-up comedians. Brian Regan out there.
I'm wearing new contact lenses. I just had my prescription changed after 6 years. You ever wait that long? And then you're like, man, I can see. How can instantly improved vision not be at the top of your to-do list? I'll see tomorrow. I got a sock drawer I got to sort out.
Martin Short, Steve Martin has been on that stage.
When Marty and I fly together, we save a lot of money because Marty fits conveniently in the overhead bin.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun to see you in Fayetteville and doing this stand-up comedy. Is there someone that you're bringing along with you on these tours? Do you get to pick the comedians that roll with you?
Yeah, I will usually have someone that is local. So to me, there's so much amazing local talent, especially since the pandemic when a lot of people left New York and LA. They're like, we don't have to live here in order to, get known with the internet now. So you'll have someone saying, woo, hey, Suey, properly. Adam Bush is opening.
I've got a group of friends that every year they go camping and climb a mountain. I'm like, what are you doing up there? They said, we get to the top and the goal is just to be. I'm like, cool. I'll be here when you get back.
Yeah, I'm psyched. He was a preacher down there, turned comic. Interesting.
You can say that everyone was a preacher at one point, apparently, down here.
That's a really good point. That's a good point.
It seems like it. And by the way, the Woo Pig Suey thing happens everywhere. We've been trying. I've been on air here at a rock station for years, and it gets to a certain pitch with the cheering or something, and it's almost cult-like. I don't know what. I can't put my finger on it. But, we are in a college town, so it gets to that woo, and then everyone just kind of turns it into a pig suey. So they'll probably do that to you, and it's kind of like you're just standing there awkwardly on stage staring at everyone with their hands in the air. So wish you luck.
We're going to get through it together.
Okay, so yes, you call it with them, and they'll just be so happy. They will.
Okay, let's wish me luck. If a brawl breaks out, God help me.
People don't realize that you've written for all sorts of things. You've written for shows like Roseanne and Two Broke Girls, all sorts of ABC stuff. Punked, if people are into Punked, you've helped write for that stuff. And obviously Comedy Central Roast, which, by the way, you're one of my favorites when you are up there actually doing a roast. But you also write for other comedians. So is that totally different? Do you have to sit down and be like, all right, it's funny time? How do you start writing? You
grew up in an alcoholic home, and you are wired to just try to make unhappy people laugh at all times. It's really, I wish I had it's very, kind of like brick and mortar like that. It's a bunch of people getting together going, TV was my only escape as a kid. It's what made me laugh when I was in a bad, miserable home. And I'm going to make this thing that makes people feel better. It's like, I'm a drug dealer. Let's make these drugs. It's almost that simple, and I feel bad. I wish I had a better explanation of here's what you do when you read this book, and it's really just a bunch of feral animals getting in a room, and trying to make each other laugh. And we're like, if we can make each other laugh, this is worth, if I can make a broken psychopath comedy writer laugh, this could be good. It could be funny.
I love it. That's a very good point. I also follow you a little bit on social media, and your partner, your husband, I could understand.
Baby daddy, yeah, fiance, baby daddy, it's musical chairs over here, it's the reverse Mormons, just figuring out what religion this is and what cult I'm in. You do what you just do. You just tell the truth and you treat everyone with respect. And, that's that. I grew up watching parents stay together that shouldn't have stayed together. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just try to do the opposite of what my parents did at every opportunity. And hopefully my child won't turn into a stand-up comedian. That's all I can really do at this point.
People want to keep the kid off of a stripper pole, and you're just like, don't be a comedian. That's the worst.
If you want to strip, it seems like it's very good exercise. People love doing it, and it seems way cheaper than football or volleyball or all these things you got to put your kid in. And look, this is also, not to be regionalist, but in the South, this whole thing where everyone's got to be married to the person they had a kid with, there's an honesty in the South that I think understands. I grew up was born in DC, but I grew up mostly in Virginia. And I was raised by my two aunts that didn't have kids. One was married. My mom my dad had been married twice. There's this thing where people can't figure it out with their exes. This is a very LA, New York thing. Where it's you were with someone for 10 years, but you can't be in the same room together. It's you can't, that's not the way it is in the South. We don't have to like each other, but we can go, hi, bless your heart. Yeah. We can figure it out for the kids. And we can just go what are the chances we were going to be together our whole lives? We met at 20. We're different people now. Marriage was invented, but the life expectancy was 24 years old. We nailed it, dude. We had a kid together. Me and his dad are thick as thieves. We just tell each other the truth, and never let resentment build, and we're going to do what's best for the kid, not what is best for the parent.
And that's probably not touring, right? Does the kid get to go on tour? Like on the
Yeah,
road?
he usually stays with his dad on the weekends, but I try to bring him when I can, when the flight's not too crazy. But, look, when I'm working, I think a lot of people think stand-up is just a comedian walking on stage and just talking for a night. It's such a hard job that I usually try to spend time on the airplane, writing jokes and, staying sharp. So he comes with me sometimes, but, normally he's with his dad. But, I think I'm excited that I get to bring the point of view of someone who had a kid, sort of out of wedlock, and then found my fiance later. I think a lot of people relate to going like, yeah, I don't have that traditional thing. But I like to go like, there's no shame in that, white trash till I die.
Not at all. There's no, and you know what? What's tradition nowadays? It really is about being happy. It takes a village to be raised. And I'm sure you're just mentioning all these family members, people that have helped raise you. And I think that's what it is. It really is the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
And just tell the truth. Like if just tell the truth. And, life is short and there's enough fighting on the internet. There doesn't need to be fighting in your house. And you just work it out and get creative and treat each other with respect. It's not that hard. I grew up around a lot of divorce, and I just promised myself I'm not going to do that to my kid. Great. He gets to have two dads. He gets to have two houses. This kid is getting divorced or breaking up that's how you spoil a kid. I'm like, he gets two birthday cakes. He gets two. This child, so I just was like, I'm never going to let my kid see adults fight. I'm never going to let my kids see adults not be madly in love, and I'm going to just set the example that, it's never too late to change your mind. It's never too late. You can respect the other person by telling the truth and, so none of this is funny. I gotta, but
I'm over here as a parent going, yes, tell us more, Whitney.
I'm just going, I'm just forgetting this is like an interview. Yeah. We're just hanging out at this point. Anyway.
Yes, come see Whitney Cummings. Actually, you will see some people that crowds here in Fayetteville. We're pretty wild and unpredictable, but, I think that you've got just sort of a built-in crowd that people really want to see you live here in Northwest Arkansas. So pretty sure it's pretty close to sold out, but if you want to get tickets, go to waltonartscenter.org. This is happening. I
promise I won't just talk about divorce and childhood. Sorry. And I won't talk about my child custody situation.
I was at the Brian Regan show, and they're yelling at jokes for him to do, he's dancing like a monkey on stage. Don't cave to them yelling a joke at you. I don't like that one either.
Oh, feel free. Well, you can yell at me as much as you want. I'm a female comedian. I'm used to getting yelled at on the internet. I'd feel weird if you did it. And then I'll yell back, woo, pig suey.
That's right. Well, we're all looking forward to it, Whitney. It's going down this Saturday, May 9th. Your incredible podcast. I look forward to the episodes as it keeps on going. Do you record that at your home, or is that away in a different studio?
No, I do it at my house. Just so I can, I probably should do it somewhere else, but
that's
in LA, the taxes it's the only way to write off your mortgage in LA. I'm just going to tell you the truth this morning. You got me early.
Well, no, not only that. Why would you want to sit in traffic for an hour or whatever? Just to go do that too.
Yeah,
it's like a waste of life.
This way I can get excited, have an idea, and record it right away. Because sometimes by the time you get in the car, you drive to the studio, you kind of lost the anger, you've lost the motivation a little bit, and you're sort of now I'm just mad at traffic. I forgot what I was even going to talk about. So it's a nice way to just kind of get right in there.
Hey, Whitney, I really appreciate you taking time. I know that you are super busy with all you're doing, and it really is an honor to talk to you. I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
This was, by the way, such thoughtful questions and so rad. And next time I'm going to drink coffee before we talk. What an honor. Okay. I hope you can ask us for tickets to the show. I'd love to see you. I hope you can come.
Get plugged in every Wednesday. Subscribe now to the Livewire with Branden and listen now on the new 479 app.